Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Scream from 1996. And this one was a big one out of the 90s, directed by Wes Craven. This was the follow-up to Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This was the one that really, of that same kind of meta, the movie talks about all the tropes of the movies and stuff like that, and the reality being in the script and everything like that. This is kind of one of those movies that kind of pokes fun at that, and it was iconic for that reason, and it really was a big hit when it came out. But before we get into that, remind you guys to please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on all my socials, Instagram, Twitter, do all that stuff. All those links will be in the description, and yeah, with that being said, let's get into the review. So yeah, this movie is pretty iconic. It stars Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy, and a whole bunch of other actors. Henry Winkler, forgot he was in there. But yeah, this movie is basically follows a group of kids who are being kind of killed off in this town. A string of murders start happening, and our hero of the movie is kind of being targeted by this killer for unknown reasons until we find out later in the movie. And you have this character named Randy, who's played by Jamie Kennedy, who's kind of like this horror movie aficionado. Like, he knows all the tropes of the horror, starts to talk about, you say this happens and everything, and they kind of make a point of that early on in the movie. And the cast and everything is really good. I think everybody does their job well. Everybody, the kind of characters that they play. I will say, unfortunately for me, I found this movie be kind of boring. Like I said, I kind of know who the killers are. I've seen reviews, people talk about it. When you do these types of channels, you watch other people's reviews, see what they think. So I kind of knew the twist going in, and so it didn't really surprise me. I already knew a lot of the stuff, but the movie to me just kind of felt sort of boring. Like, I didn't really, not to say it's not a good movie or whatever. I just had a tough time finishing it. I was kind of waiting to the end. And that's some cool stuff. There's some suspenseful moments. One thing about this movie is that it's one of those where it's like early, and I know it's obviously not the first movie to do it, but I don't know if this era or just this movie, horror movies in general, have a bad a reputation of they make music goes really, really quiet and then super, super loud. So I'm watching this late at night, and I got thin walls, so I'm trying to turn the movie down, and turn the movie up and everything. And so that was a pain in the ass. I just kind of found the movie boring. Like I said, I know it was iconic for the time. I know how much of a big deal this movie was for the 90s and the generation of horror fans and everything. But for me, I grew up in the 2000s. I really didn't get into horror movies till much, much later. So like I said, this didn't hit the same as it probably did for some of you when it first came out. So yeah, that's my opinion. Like I said, it's not a bad movie. It's not a horrible movie. I just found it to be a bit boring. So. But yeah, the kills and everything, and they were really good. Some of the gore is pretty good, especially at the beginning of the movie. I think if Wes Craven had done like an anthology movie, and this was like one of the bits in the anthology, like that opening 15 minutes or however long it is with Drew Barrymore, like if it was that in like a 15-minute anthology, I think that would be fine. And then you have different vignettes throughout the movie. But it's all one continuing story, and I felt like it was, like I said, it was a good opening minutes. Like the opening 15 minutes was good, and then it just felt so dragged out, whatever. And I knew who the killers were going into it, but even if I didn't know that, I feel like the killers were pretty obvious from the get-go. So, but yeah, that's what I think of this movie. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and we'll be back tomorrow with the 1997 movie. So. Look out for that, and I will see you in the next one.